In a region called Opelucid, where fairies are extinct and dragons reign supreme, lots of Pokemon reach new potentials. In this video I'll give 4 Pokemon new evolutions. Banette is the marionette Pokemon. It was a doll that got trashed and its grudge was so strong that it gained life. The text entries that say, "It seeks the tribe that disowned it," are so perfect, I love them. I love this Pokemon. Unfortunately, whoever threw it away was probably a competitive player, because Banette is as good as garbage in OU. I'm gonna give it an evolution that's a bit better. Okay, so I'm a big fan of mummies. Well, I mean the undead ones, not zombie moms, like you know what I mean. Unfortunately, 1,000-year-old bandaged sarcophagus dudes are really hard to fit into my Spec Evo project, so I'll be pouring my passionate love of mummies into this one. I'm taking some inspiration from Cacturne with it, so maybe they're related in some way. The story is that even as the doll wore away, the grudge of Banette couldn't die. It possessed the cadaver of a nearby fallen Pokemon instead, so it could continue its cursed life. The name comes from the first 3 letters of Banette and Shuppet along with Banshukai, which means corpse or cadaver in Malay. So when Banette faints in the same battle as Cacturne in one party, they combine into Banshukai. Banshukai is a ghost-type Pokemon with the abilities Mummy, Wandering Spirit, and hidden ability Good as Gold. It also learns a move called Preservative Wrap, which traps and damages its target for 4 to 5 turns. It learns lots of new moves from Psychic to Power Whip to Salt Cure to Recover. It's got middling base stats that end up making it pretty subpar, though the attack stat makes sure it'll be great somewhere. Good as Gold is also, well, good as gold. It'll stop your opponent from taking away hazards. Banshukai is a dangerous Pokemon that lashes out at anything and anyone that seems happy. Their grudge against any kind of joy is so strong that it's alive, and their envy could burn down a house. Rumors say Banshukai takes children and keeps them under its wraps, and it has the stench of rotting flesh. But that's not all there is to Banshukai. Cacturne isn't the only Pokemon it can inhabit, and the second Pokemon is more of a coral than a mummy. I promise I'll still keep some of the mummy elements since that's this mon's whole thing. I'm designing it based on Corsola, though to evolve Banette into it, Banette has to faint at the same time as a Corsola in the party. Banshukai's coral form is a ghost rock type with the abilities Insomnia and Weak Armor. All their hidden abilities are good as gold. Yeah, there's going to be another Banshukai form. Its move pool is just a combo of Banette and Corsolas with the addition of Poltergeist, Preservative Wrap, and Salt Cure. It's got great defenses with not so great HP and decent offensive stats. It's super slow though, so as a rock type it's hot garbage. This Banshukai is similarly dangerous for similar reasons. If you see a dead fish on the surface of the water, covered or surrounded by soggy bandages, it's probably the work of a coral Banshukai. This Pokemon is extremely unsanitary, and the mold growing on its damp body can cause severe cough and even death in already weak people. Banshukai is one of the many reasons it's not recommended to drink river water without at least boiling it. A third form of Banshukai is a fast and powerful attacker. It's got a similar basic mummy design as the mummy form, but I'm focusing the attention on its head and the spikes spread around its body. It's a godlike special attacker, the Aura Pokemon. It was hard to make its bandages look cool and not stupid. I try my best. When Banette faints in the same battle as a Lucario in the party, they combine into Banshukai. Banshukai's Aura form is a ghost fighting type Pokemon with the abilities Legacy and Frisk. Legacy boosts the power of this Pokemon's attack when its HP is lowered. Its move pool is a combo of Banette and Lucario's with the addition of Poltergeist and Preservative Wrap. It's not as fast as the other sweepers, but special attack is uber level. Ghost and Fighting is a great type, so this Pokemon is definitely going to be good in OU. Not to mention anything with Good as Gold is pretty good, especially as a ghost type. This Banshukai is super rare, but when it's seen, people rarely escape with their lives. It rests in elaborate pyramids showered in gold and other treasures, sleeping as much as possible. When it wakes on its own, it sulks and kicks stuff around, but if it's waked by anything else, it does everything in its power to kill and eat the perpetrator. Those who escaped say it had an unforgettable stench like nothing they've ever experienced. They claim to smell it on any piece of gold afterward, driving them mad. It's called the Banshukai's Curse, and so far anyone who's ever seen the Aura Banshukai has died less than a year afterward. Next is Cacturne, the scarecrow Pokemon. It becomes active at night and follows travelers waiting for them to tire out. The Emerald Pokedex entry mentions its blood is made of the same stuff as sand. I don't know what that means either. This is another Pokemon I'm a huge fan of, and if you're weirdly into my videos, you might know I'm way into cowboys. Not in a weird way, I just like cowboys, as a gender-neutral term. Unfortunately, cowperson doesn't sound as cool, but yeah, I'm a big fan of the whole Wild West aesthetic thing. I'm drawing this Pokemon with a big ol' hat it stole from its prey. The Pokemon covers its face with this hat to seem human enough to get close. It's got a gun on its arm that it uses to win quick draws. When Cacturne knocks out 50 Pokemon at night, it evolves into Cacloper. I haven't decided on Cacloper or Cacloper, but it's a grass dark-type Pokemon with the abilities Sand Veil, Quick Draw, and hidden ability Water Absorb. It's got a ground-type move called Sand Bullet Blast that hits really hard but has a chance to miss. It's a special attack but hits on the target's physical defense. Sandaconda also gets this move. Even with its huge attacking stats, Cacloper is unfortunately not that good competitively. It's slow, not that bulky, and its typing doesn't help at all. I could definitely see YouTubers using Quick Draw, Quick Claw though, with mild to moderate success. Cacloper follows its prey in a similar way as Cacturne, but plays it as something like a game. Cacloper tries to see how close it can get to a traveler before they realize it's a threat, and then performs a Wild West style Quick Draw with its prey. Cacloper never loses. They steal the belongings of their prey before eating them and often have a collection of treasures in a cave or under the sand. If you dig up an assorted collection of clothing and jewelry in the desert, it may be the last thing you see. Third is Sandaconda, the sand snake Pokemon. I love that it evolves from a little guy called Silicobra. Fun fact, it's called that because of silicon, which is the primary component of sand in the form of silicon dioxide. Sandaconda, however, is based on a literal shotgun. It can contract its body to shoot out 100 kilos of sand that can supposedly wash away a dump truck. None of this makes sense to me, like, dump trucks are definitely more than 100 kilos. Also, Sandaconda itself isn't even that heavy, so like, where's the sand even coming from? Anyway, I am a pretty big fan of this Pokemon too, especially because it learns Hurricane. I remember trying so hard to make that work on a Pokemon with 65 base special attack. Well folks, I'm about to. During a particularly harsh sandstorm, Sandaconda became a part of the wind that carries the sand and found itself inhabiting a new form. It controls the wind with its hood and has a sand sail with which it can fly. Its head is a big cannon that shoots out sand bombs. This one's vaguely inspired by pirate ships, and while I do like pirates, they're not on the same level as mummies and cowboys for me. No one cares about my opinion on basic media tropes, but I'm telling y'all anyway. When Sandaconda uses Hurricane 20 times, it evolves into Cannoking. Cannoking is a ground flying type Pokemon with the abilities Sand Spit, Mega Launcher, and hidden ability Sand Veil. I really wanted to fit an SOO in its name to reference silicon dioxide, but I couldn't figure it out. Sand Bullet Blast is a pulse sphere move that's powered up by Mega Launcher, so it's a pretty heavy hitter. It gets other ones like Aura Sphere, Dark Pulse, and Dragon Pulse, but none of those synergize that well with ground type offensively. It's probably better off with Hurricane, Stealth Rock, and if you're weird you could even run Coil. Maybe it works with Body Press? I don't know. I think something's going dirty in the kitchen, I gotta stop. Cannoking is a huge Pokemon that blocks out the sun as it flies above the desolate sands. When the sun comes up, it lands and hides underground. If you see something like its sail coming above ground, that's considered good luck since it's pretty rare. Some people try to sit next to it and hold on when the sun comes down so they can fly on it for a night. People have claimed to succeed, but nothing's been recorded. It's a very peaceful Pokemon, but it can be fierce when defending its allies. Lastly, the avianoid Pokemon Sigilyph. These territorial Pokemon were once guardians of an ancient city that's been found under the sand of the Relic Desert. If you've watched a few of my videos, you know I'm a big fan of birds. Yeah, I guess the Pokemon in this video are kind of following a theme of random stuff I like a lot. The term avianoid goes so hard, and even though I didn't notice Sigilyph was a bird for a very long time, as soon as I did, it became like 12 times cooler. Sigilyph is already pretty mystical, but the strongest of which could become a legendary royal guardian. Sigilyph's head kinda looks like an unknown, which inspired me to make a bit more of a direct reference. It makes sense too. I mean, a glyph is a symbol of which letters are, so like, it kinda works, I guess. My Sigilyph-loving friend asked me to make the evolution biblically accurate, so I tried my best while still making sure it's giving bird. It's not an avian, it's an avianoid, so like, as long as the vibes are there, it's fine. But yeah, this is a giant legendary bird Pokemon with 4 heads and 4 wings. As the mirror avianoid Pokemon, I'm imagining it as a 2-headed bird with 2 eyes for each head that was bisected to have 4 heads and 1 eye for each. Does that make sense? Anyway, it comes from 4 Sigilyphs, so none of what I just said matters. This Pokemon can be found in the center of the ruins of an ancient city, but it can also be acquired by leveling up 4 Sigilyph in your party to level 100 and turning your console or controller upside down at the center of the ruins. The one at the front of the party will evolve and the others will disappear. Sigiseralyph is a psychic flying type Pokemon with the abilities Wonderskin, Magic Guard, and hidden ability Tinted Lens. It has a signature move called Ancient Guardian, which basically gives the user the ability Friend Guard on top of whatever it had before. It's obviously an Uber with those wacky zany stats, and it would probably be good there too, especially in doubles. If they let the thing into VGC, it might even outclass Miraidon or Zacian. Its typing is way worse though, so maybe not. But yeah, I would probably run Life Orb Magic Guard because I'm basic like that. Though realistically, Tinted Lens is way better and Specs Hurricane would do numbers on a lot of Pokemon. Sigiseralyph has only ever been seen in ancient drawings, so there's not much known about it. It was probably the leader of the city's guardians, or maybe it guarded the city's leaders. All we know is that it was definitely important. I like the evolution method because it sounds like one of those myths that got spread around when I was a kid, and I think it would be funny if one turned out to be real. That's about it for this video. Check out my Patreon where you can give $1 a month to support me and get your name at the end of my videos. Links in the description, and thanks Captain Cobot. My next Pokemon video will be making new forms and evolutions for Braviary and Mandibuzz. Hope to see you there, consider subscribing, and thanks for watching!